Welcome to Hard Talk on this, the fifth day of Christmas. I'm here with Queen Bee, and we've been joined by Dr. Edward Mahama. Dr. Mahama, good morning, and welcome to GH Today.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. Merry Christmas to you, by the way.
And many happy returns.
Indeed, you've been away for a while, and we just want to know what has been happening since you made your comeback. I read somewhere that you are the comeback kid. And you're back into politics.
I haven't seen you in like years.
Yeah. How have you been?
Well, I've been very well. I had a previous engagement to give a lecture in a university in the United States of America before the postponement of the Congress. So immediately after the Congress, I had to dash back to the United States.
Okay.
I came back 4 days ago.
What was happening in the United States?
Well, it was a global conference on health that I was going to participate. But also that, because of what happened in France, also shifted that.
Exactly.
But I had already bought my ticket. All my children are in the United States, so I decided
How many
that
children?
I have 4.
Okay.
One girl and 3 boys, yes.
Doctors amongst them?
No, they said I was working too hard as a doctor. They didn't want to.
They took a cue from you.
That's right. Yes. Anyway, one is a lawyer. One works with Boeing. They make aircrafts.
Okay.
And one works with Goodyear Tires. He's an accountant. And one is trying to go to law school. Yes. Yes.
All in good standing.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
I'm happy about my kids. They've been very good kids. Yeah.
What do they make of your trying to be president? This is the 5th time you're trying to be president. What do your kids make of it?
Well, they understand. They lived here with me. I brought them back from the U.S., and they lived here with me. My daughter, who is the lawyer in Chicago, when we came, I sent her to Fansuman. And after one term, she said, I'm not going back to school. No water, no light sometimes, and I won't go back to school. So I had to go to Achimota to see the headmaster there. And the headmaster at that time told me, I was a student here. We were 600 kids. Now I'm a headmaster, and we are now 1,800, and no new buildings have been added. So, Dr. Mahama, if I bring your daughter, she'll have to sit in the middle. I said, well, either you bring her or I go back to the U.S. And I brought to him comments from the students that I taught here about how much they enjoyed my teaching, medical students. So I brought a pack of it and gave it to him, read it. Said, I'm here to educate Ghanaian kids. So if you don't give my daughter a place in your school, I'm going back where I was teaching, and I will continue to do that. He read the greetings from the medical students here, and he said, go and bring your daughter. And she went to school here. She's happy I brought her because her best friends now are her schoolmates from Achimota.
Great.
And all my kids, their friends communicate with them. So I'm happy I brought them, but it was very rough, you know.
I can imagine. How have you handled this? So what? It's a 5th time, like Kafi put it, but you've endured 4 failed attempts.
Yes, yes. As I said, they've understood.
Personally, I'm looking at it from your angle.
Yes.
Now.
I feel, you know, I have rejected the condition in which Ghana, with all the resources, is. I refuse to accept it.
Okay.
For example, take even the power situation. I have a book that I've been keeping since 1995. Power on, power off, power on, power off. I'm ready to share the book with anybody. Because while I was still at Kolubu, one day I had a patient that I had to take to theater, and the power went off. So she's the wife of a prominent Ghanaian, you know. And I said, 15 years in Chicago, this never happened. Why is it that I cannot, as a gynecologist, mind what I'm doing with the patient, but I have to worry about power? So anyway, I'm trying, not because the perks of being a president attract me, but the potential or the power you have as a president to make the difference that needs to be made in Ghana is what drives me, actually. And you asked them about my kids. They share my passion for Ghana. They do. That's why they have also sacrificed for me to be going. Indeed, when my party was asking me to come back, I had to go and consult them And they said, you have a message for Ghana. If Ghanaians will only listen, go ahead and do it.
So your party actually asked for your comeback?
Oh, yes. My party did. The rank and file, the party executives, they came.
So what do you say to comment from Mr. Hassan Yarega, who lost to you, that in fact you rigged the elections because you were, yes, you had some connections with party leaders?
You know, I'm here to talk about what we can do to move Ghana forward. Ayerga is history so far as I'm concerned.
That's harsh. When you say history,
yes.
That's harsh.
Yes.
You've consigned him to history.
Yes, because,
Why?
listen, when he won in 2012, I had led PNC for 16 years. I went up the stage, raised his hand, and commended him and congratulated him. Here, when he was denying that I didn't win, the EC said, count the votes. In the middle of counting the votes, he broke down and started weeping, crying. And after the election, the organizers asked him to come and thank the people who had voted for him. He was nowhere to be found.
Has he congratulated you on your...
He hasn't, and he hasn't accepted the defeat. I did. If anybody had any reason to deny that that election was fair, and I knew it wasn't, but I didn't complain about it.
Mr. Yarega has been quoted as saying that when he won the 2012, the right to lead your party in 2012,
Yeah.
he didn't get the support from you. He quoted examples of President Kufuor supporting Nana in his bid, President Rawlings supporting Mr. Mahama, and you didn't support him. So let me just land.
Yeah.
You did not support him. You
Yeah.
just went into the shadows and just looked on since that time up until now. So he doesn't think that you had any genuine support for him.
The party had executives. Alhaji Ramadan, ask him. Why doesn't he talk about the executives? At that time, the constitution was changed, and once you lost the election, you had no more position in the party. Ayerga knows that, because he was one of those debating that particular provision. So, as a former leader, I had no position in the party except being a member of the NEC. I can't nominate you today to be a member of the NEC of PNC as the leader, if I'm the leader. So basically, Ayerga should be talking about Alhaji Ramadan, Bernard Mona. They were the executives who should have taken him round. So, but I'm here not to talk about Ayerga. I tell you, so far as I'm concerned, Ayerga is history because he's indicated he's leaving the party anyway.
And he being history is a bit of a concern to me as well, because even one vote matters, I believe that as a politician.
Yes.
It does, right?
Yes, yes.
Now we see an aggrieved person, he says, okay, I'm exiting this party, I'm going to form my own party. He's now trying to woo people, well, allegations are that trying to woo people now to what? Exit the PNC and join him in this new party that he's intended on forming. You don't see that as a concern to the PNC?
We have, in fact, I have said on other stations that I'm praying for him. He should have learned from me what I did to him when he won.
Why does he need prayers?
Because why would he weep and refuse to thank the people who voted for him? Is that the normal reaction? When you win, even athletes, they hug each other. You've seen it. Footballers, you kick somebody, you go and shake his hand and pick him up.
Are you not afraid that he's going with the money that he would have pumped into your campaign?
I'm not afraid about that. Why should I be afraid?
Because he's a man of means. He can contribute to your
Let's
your
not
campaign.
talk about Ayerga, please.
I'm looking more
Let's
at
not
that
talk about
vote. But
I'm here to tell the people of Ghana what I want to do for them.
Okay,
Yes.
that's a good point.
Yes,
So
let's talk about that.
So let's talk about that.
That's right.
Let's talk about your...
So far as I'm here, I'm not talking about Ayerga.
No problem. Let's
All
talk
right.
about you. Let's talk about the PNC.
That's right.
And you've now won the right to
Yes.
lead the PNC
Yes.
in 2016.
Okay.
What are the realistic chances of the PNC winning more seats in Parliament and providing the vehicle for you to get to the Flagstaff House? Is it a question of Ghanaians liking the driver of the vehicle, but not liking the car, which is the PNC?
What this voting in WA has told the people of Ghana is that there is something in Edward Mahama they must look at. There is something Edward Mahama brings to Ghana that Ghanaians have failed to see. Honesty, integrity, ideas how to move this country forward. That's why they came and said, when 2012, we didn't know what our direction is. Come and give us direction. And I've given them direction. The campaign theme for Edward Mahama is new beginnings, new deal, new force.
That's great, and we'll go into that. No, it's great.
Yes,
it's great.
yes, yes.
It's great.
So now, the party can already see. He has just come, he's given us a direction.
New beginnings.
New deal.
New deal.
New force.
New force. Please explain what you mean.
New beginnings because 60 years, over 60 years, we got independence. And today, there are children sitting under trees. Over 60 years, we got independence. If you write a letter to the ministry, any of the ministries, you have to follow that letter. Otherwise, they won't voluntarily reply you. So I'm asking PNC to campaign with me and let the people of Ghana give us the mandate to restructure the civil service, to restructure the public service, to restructure the education service, so that people should not sit under trees in 21st century to learn. You know, that will be the new beginning. We go back and start, because when Nkrumah inherited the civil service of the colonial administration, nobody has restructured it. So it's not responsive to Ghanaians. As I said, Edward Nasiri Mahama, I have a letter in the Ministry of Health. Over 1 year now, it hasn't come. A letter that they are writing to me. I've sent my administrator there 3 times. 3 times. They haven't responded to the letter. Our government is not responsive to the people of Ghana. And I mean the government machinery.
And you hope to change this.
Yes,
but
it can be changed.
I've been looking at the votes the PNC has been getting in the presidential since 96.
Yes.
Your high point was 3-point-something%.
Yes.
Your lowest point was less than 0.2% in 2012.
Yes.
At the height of your time as a flag bearer, you had 4 MPs in Parliament.
Yes.
Today, how many do you have?
1.
Are Ghanaians interested in the PNC?
They have never actually got the message of the PNC. If you talk about today, when I started, even the first radio station that came on, Radio I don't know if you remember the history, was immediately shut down. Today there is social media. I have a message, and the people have never heard it.
Is it because the message is not very well articulated?
If it is, well, not articulation. If it is not, national health insurance won't be around. Go and look at the presidential debates of 2000. Edward Mahama was the one who propounded it at that debate. That debate was carried by CNN, so you can get the tape. If you look at school feeding, when I was talking about school feeding, some people said, oh, Ghana is HIPIC. Where are we going to get the money? School feeding has been implemented. Is it running well? It's not running well. If you talk about Ministry of Women, what they now call gender, Edward Mahama proposed it 1996, November, in Jackson Park, Kumasi.
So what you're saying is that all of these leaders that are coming in are picking on your ideas and running with it. Is that not good enough?
Pardon?
Is that not good enough?
If it is good enough, then what is wrong with my participating?
Well, definitely nothing wrong with it. But
and I'm saying this is what Ghana needed.
Yes.
But there wasn't the voice. So you see, today I'm sitting here. People will hear me. Today there are how many radio stations? My message is good, but never got to the people. Now it's going to get to the people. I'm convinced that I'll win this election.
I'm sure you said this the second time you became flag bearer, the third time you became flag bearer, the fourth time you became flag bearer. Is it time for you to go back to what we know you for, your other life, your first love? I heard in an interview you saying that medicine was your first love.
Yeah.
Maybe the second love is not working out.
But you see, that's what I'm telling you. You don't realize that when I'm operating on a patient and the lights go off and the patient is bleeding and my heart is jumping, that's not medicine. That's not medicine. Let me give you a statistic. We were 55 who graduated from Legon in 1972. 4 of them are dead. So what? 51 are left. Less than 10 of us are in Ghana. The others are abroad and are not coming.
And you would change that?
Definitely. If the power situation is changed, if the water situation is changed.
How would you change the power situation, Dr. Mahama?
How would I
Assuming that you were in the Flagstaff House,
yes.
7th January 2017.
That's right. Go and look at all the contracts that have been signed about our power, the badges, the corruption in there. I'll give you a statistic that will let you understand that the things I have said, that I'm going to be the David of Ghana to fight the Goliath of Ghana, which is corruption, can be done.
How will you do it?
Let me give you one statistic before we move on. an NGO, as part of their corporate responsibility, went to government and said, we want the prototype of the plans you have for building JSS. They got the architectural plans, and the amount of money they use for 4 schools, government uses the same amount for 1 school. So the government could have also built 4 schools, but they are building 1 with the same amount of money. My mother's village, there are stones lying there over 10, 15 years for schools. The first DC gathered them. The second DC didn't even go there. So where my mother came from, there's no school, 3 villages. You know, corruption. On the books, they have said there is a school there because they gave the first contract. You know, Ghana is reeling under the weight of corruption. You need somebody. The reason PNC has brought me back is that if you talk to any of their officers who have been there, and even now a Supreme Court judge who worked with me as the General Secretary of the party, they will tell you that Dr. Mahama gave to the party, didn't take from the party. Those are the leaders you need in Ghana so that the wealth of Ghana can be used for the people.
So for you, what this country needs is an incorruptible leader, and you think we can find that in you?
Yes.
How different are you from Nana Addo, who says he's also incorruptible?
How different?
Yes.
Well, my party has called me back, knowing that, showing Ghana that they have tested me and found me incorruptible.
His party has also called him back. They could have dropped him after 2 attempts.
So now, that's why he's a candidate and I'm a candidate. It's for Ghanaians to decide. And I have brought National Health Insurance. I have brought Get Fund. Get Fund, 1998, Kumasi, the Emergency National Delegates Congress that we had. Even BBC interviewed me about it. How are you going to do it? You know how it came about? Students from IPS had gone to the castle and they were douched with water. And I was very, very critical of the then President Jerry John Rawlings. And then media man asked me, what would you have done? And I said, come to our Congress in Kumasi, I'll tell you. At that Congress, the think tank of the PNC were hosted in the City Hotel. And I told them, I want to revisit a program of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Get Fund, which Kwame Nkrumah used to add 57 secondary schools. No, there were 57 secondary schools when he came. By the time he left, there were over 160 secondary schools. He used Get Fund to build schools, such as Ghana College in Tamale. So I said, we have done it before. Nkrumah has done it. Why are we struggling with it? So we proposed Get Fund from Kumasi. How many schools has it built? I know some people who have gone even abroad from Get Fund funds. When I proposed it, the NDC was in power. They wrote it into law. By the time it matured to be disbursed, MPP was in power.
So maybe that's your role, really, to propose ideas for people to implement. Dr. Mahama.
But you
don't
need
have
a platform.
to be.
You need a platform. You need a platform to
to
do
be
that.
able to-
You need a platform to do that. You need a platform to do that. There are many people proposing very good things, but they don't have that platform.
It appears to me that your achievements are all based on things that happened in the past. Are you living on past glory?
I have just told you my program. Now, if we will talk about my program, you will see that I'm leading on past glory. Which of the candidates have given you a program since they emerged from their Congress? Which of them? Which of them? Answer that question before we proceed.
So we're very sure of 2016.
Yes.
Considering the dwindling voting pattern.
Yeah.
What do you think will make the difference this time around?
I have just already told you. The media now is everywhere. No one can gag Edward Mahama and take his program that people will not know. Social media. I intend to use social media.
But PNC is not on social media. I checked.
No.
You don't have a Facebook presence.
We have a website anyway.
I'm looking for Facebook. Everybody goes through Facebook. I checked yesterday. I did my research. There's no PNC Facebook page.
Very good. You know, my IT specialist, I've asked him to bring me 3 top IT specialists in Ghana. We're going to talk and design one.
It's a bit
I'm working on it. You see that I've come here with it.
It's a bit too late.
So
it's not too late.
It's not too late. You have
It's not too
11
late.
months
It's not too
to
late.
the election.
It's not too
and you're
late.
now designing a website, sir.
It's not too late. It's not too late at all. The message, people go the next day and vote based on what they have heard today. I've been campaigning, I know. Some people make their minds early. Some people will even stand in line and change their mind.
And you're relying on that.
No, I'm not relying on that. I've told you what I'm going to do.
What are your plans? What are your plans to stop people from leaving the PNC party?
A lot of them left because the party had become a laughing stock.
Really?
Why did you think that it had become a laughing
Not that I
stock?
said. People said it. In
Really?
fact, one of the media people asked me,
At
yes.
what point did we realize that the party had become a laughing stock?
Did I realize?
No, well, you just said it. I'm just asking. At what point?
The people who have left,
Yes.
that I'm calling back, they are telling me why they left.
that
and
they
I'm calling them
thought
back,
it had
yes.
become a laughing stock.
That's right.
Okay, and we have no idea what
What were they laughing about? What were they laughing at the PNC about?
The coughing at the presidential debate and other things.
Oh, the
that-
Ayari coughs, and is that what we're talking about? But you didn't want to talk about Mr. Ayariga, because with all of these
I'm telling you,
defections-
yes, I'm telling you why people were leaving. You have asked.
Okay,
Don't you want answers?
The coughing?
No,
That's trivial.
definitely, yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
probably he did
Yes.
have a chesty cough.
Yes. So,
And how does that become a laughing stock?
no, many other things. For example, 2012, they said they didn't have a direction, a theme for the campaign.
But that's my point exactly. That couldn't you have been on board, you know, with the past experience? Couldn't you have just joined
You see,
hands with
if
the leadership at the time and then, you know, work towards a successful election?
I am a consultant. If I see
Medical
you on the
consultant.
street, yes, if I see you on the street with a tumor from your head down to your knee, and you don't come and say, I have this problem, can you help me? I won't offer it. Except in an emergency. The last but one time I was going to the United States, on the plane, I was sitting down. We had just left Accra about an hour, and the air hostess came and knelt by me and said, are you Dr. Mahama? I said, yes, come. Took me to the first class. The man was suffering from a heart attack. In that case, I offered my services. But otherwise, if you have any problem and you don't come to me, I have already told you, after the elections, I was reduced to a member of the NEC.
Which is automatic.
It was automatic according
Yes.
to our constitution.
But
Yes.
out of your own free will,
Yeah.
you could have offered
You
advice.
could have offered advice.
As a
That-
well-meaning member of the PNC.
If you don't ask for my advice, I won't give it to you.
No.
If you didn't invite me, I won't come here. I won't come.
I'm thinking that these are two different scenarios. We
They're
can
not
compare.
different. They're
We can
not different.
compare us inviting you here to the situation at your party.
Yeah.
I mean, here we talk about how that.
Let's move
can I-
on.
can
You
I-
see, you see
can
what
I
you
put-
you
can
see
I
what you
put-
media people do. You see what you media. When I was talking about school feeding, the media, instead of asking me how exactly do you want to plant it, they didn't. Now school feeding program is there and it's collapsing. Why? Because even those who took it didn't know the idea behind it.
What was the idea behind it? You have the platform now.
Yes, thank you. When I proposed it, in primary school, in my village in Alergo, we used to eat tuonzafi. The maize was grown there. The chicken was grown there. The vegetables were grown there. So when I was proposing school feeding, I said, as president, I'm going to make sure that I empower the farmers in Afram Plains, very fertile land, to produce maize. Then we will set up chicken feed mills in Brongahafo and transport the maize there to turn it into chicken feed. There are a lot of poultry farmers there. They will feed this to their poultry and will feed the chicken to our school kids. What they call food chain or whatever. They didn't listen.
So
if they had taken it and they had localized it, every locality what they are producing. In the south, for example, is plantain and cocoyam or whatever. They are feeding, they are using what they have. This thing won't collapse.
Dr. Mahama, from what you're saying,
Yeah.
you have these great ideas.
Yes.
But getting them to the Ghanaian people is a problem.
Thank you. That's why you have me here.
Could it be
I
that
appreciate
could it be that all leaders of the PNC have run one-man shows, and so we don't get to hear the position of the PNC on, say, the economy or whatever pressing issue, and it's just the presidential candidate speaking?
That's the change that
Are you
I-
running a one-man show?
No. That's the change that I have brought. If you listen to our regional chairman now, they are talking on the same theme. I have told them we are going to prosecute our agenda. That's why I'm so confident I will win, because now they have the access. Before, it's only the presidential candidate you call to GTV or wherever. Now, there are other outlets for the people to send the message.
How good are you at building a team? Because once you get to the Flagstaff house, it's not just about you, it's about you and your team. What kind of procedures do you go through to build a high-performing team that will assist you with whatever you want to do?
Yesterday, a constituency executive came to see me. And a young lady, she's about 30, she said, "We are going to help you." I said, "No, you are not helping me. Do you know my age? I'm 70 years old. My kids are grown. I am saying now, the new force," you see, you've let it, I hope I have the time. I told them, this new force I'm talking about, PNC is going to target 18 to 35-year-olds. Ghana is sitting on their shoulders, but they don't even know it. Unfortunately, a lot of them are unemployed. The other day, we were having a party meeting, and somebody just Googled. We graduated 50,000 students from all the tertiary institutions last year. 5,000 of them are employed. The 45 are walking the streets, until dependent on their parents. So I said, we are targeting 18 to 35-year-olds. They are the new force in Ghana, because they are the ones who will turn Ghana around. So I told her, you are in that age range. I'm going to help you so that your child will not go to school. When I was at Legon, I had one room to myself. My father was a farmer. I had one room to myself. I was served meals. I'm a gynecologist trained in America. My son goes to that same university. He shares that room with 7 other students. My father, the farmer, and I, who has done well for his son or his child. We have not thought into the future, so I told them, this 18 to 35 years, the new force will turn Ghana away. They have to have a mental revolution. Turn away from corruption. Put something down, or your letter is missing, your file is missing. Must stop. And I'm going to target them. In fact, we're developing a site for them. And we'll say, if you want to join this new force to turn Ghana from corruption, doomsday, unemployment, come, join this new force. The future is yours. The future is yours. You are making the future not even for you, but for your children. Because when they go to school, they shouldn't be going to schools where there's no place to go and relieve yourself. It's happening all over the country. And this 18 it's a mental revolution I'm bringing about. It's an attitudinal revolution I'm bringing about. The message will go down because of people like you. The message will go down because social media is there.
Yes.
I watched Facebook, how it came into being. Zuckerman, the problems he went through at Harvard, he had to drop out. So people make sacrifice. So you're using Facebook, you don't even know that the man made a sacrifice.
What would cause you to fail as president?
If I am not tough with my ministers to sack them when they take corruption.
Has President Mahama been tough with his ministers?
Ask him.
What's your view?
What's your view?
My view is that I will be tougher.
He's not that tough right now, is he?
Corruption is still, he himself complains about corruption. What has he done about it?
You don't think
Which minister have we seen fired?
Well, we saw one resign last week, the transport minister, over the bus rebranding.
Not only that, he had said that if Dumso was not finished by a certain time, he would go.
Oh, you're expecting Dr. Donko to go?
Yes. So when you make a commitment, keep up to it. I intend to keep up to it. And that's what I'm telling you. The PNC people have brought me back because they've seen that I'm not corruptible. All monies that came to PNC, not a penny went into Dr. Mahama's pocket. I don't need it. And that is why they say, look, Ghana must have this kind of man. That's why they brought me back. I was satisfied doing my Ghana practice and doing the other things, going abroad to lecture. I was satisfied doing that. But they know that Ghana needs somebody. So listen to PNC. They're bringing me back because Ghana needs a man like me.
Okay, indeed. I think we have loads of messages on our social media platform. Somebody saying that indeed, I believe that Ghana has never actually gotten Dr. Mahama's message. This other one says that, I think this man is a very good man. He has foresight, but is in the wrong party. Do you agree?
Nice driver, wrong car.
We are going to change the car by bringing in this new force.
So
and I'm saying, even this new force, this new force I'm talking about, you know, I got this idea from my daily devotion, the new force, you know, and the Bible or the devotion was talking about how Simeon, an old man, held Jesus when Israel was occupied by Roman foreign government. And you know, Pilate was the one who supervised the killing. Today, Rome is not there, but Christianity is there. It was a force that started 2015 years ago.
So that's inspiring you?
It's inspiring me.
Okay.
And because these ideas are more or less, I get them from my devotion, I know that they will do something. And they have done already. Don't let me talk about the past.
Okay.
But definitely I know that when you are doing something sincerely from the bottom of your heart,
it will work.
It will work. It's worth it. And if I don't even get anything done, but get Ghana restructured so that the civil service, the public service will be responsive to the people.
What you are embarking on is a serious venture. You want to change the mentality of Ghanaians.
Yeah.
Should you get to the Flagstaff House. Can you give us 2 or 3 examples of how you've managed to change the culture in an organization where you worked?
PNC, for example, the other day, I had a very serious patient. So the nurse called me and said, this patient is seriously ill. I said, I'm coming. I live beyond Trazoko Valley. The clinic is at Domi. I was there in 12 minutes. When I got there, the nurse on her own, condoning with the friend of the husband, who is a pastor, was bundling my patient into a private car to transfer her. Unfortunately, we lost the patient, and I sacked her. And I said, listen, what you have done is criminal. I didn't give you authority. So I sacked her. At the clinic, I boast about it. I'm one of the clinics that became paperless long before they are now doing it everywhere. Which means when you come to my clinic, as the nurse is taking your vital signs and your history, I can read it on the computer. And if I think that it's malaria, I send you to the lab. So by the time you come to my office, I've got a diagnosis scientifically made, not looking at your conjunctiva and saying you are anemic, or touching you and saying you are febrile.
How will this translate to Ghana?
The efficiency I'm talking about, the letter that I should have gotten from the ministry that I still haven't gotten. That's how I'm going to put efficiency. I have said this in previous campaigns, that if we reduce corruption by 30% and improve efficiency by 50%, Ghana will be a new place. Ghana will be a new place. I'm convinced about that because we have all the resources. The human resource is good, but we have failed to marshal it.
And you feel you're the one who will do this?
Yes.
I'm not feeling, I'm offering myself to do it. If Ghanaians give me the chance, I can do it.
Okay, I mean...
I'm convinced about that.
Yes, and I can tell you that right now, our social media platforms, it's flooded, and people are saying that you indeed are the man for 2016. This one says that Dr. Edward Mahama has actually proved to be a man of his words, and I think we should give him a chance. I believe that you're excited
Those
about
who
this.
know me intimately, people don't know me, but they judge me, and I have no problem with that. But those who know me intimately know that I'm sincere with what I say. I'm loyal to my nation. I'm loyal to my party. That loyalty is why they brought me back.
There are those who believe also that you probably are just wasting your time and ideas.
If I'm wasting them and they are benefiting from them, you know, my friend, the late Dan Latte said, Dr. Mahama sold National Health Insurance to Kufo. So if somebody asked me in a campaign place, how much did you get? I said, you know what I got? My people in Nalergo used to come to me for money to do their hernia operations or whatever they were going to do. Now with National Health Insurance, they're not coming to me. That's the money I got. So I didn't get physical cash, but because he's implemented it, my people are benefiting.
Let's talk about money.
Yes.
Today, we heard about the CPP announcing quite high filing fees for their presidential candidates.
Yeah.
You've gone beyond that. You are now in campaign mode.
Yes.
How are you going to convince business people in Ghana to invest in the PNC? Because you know that's what happens.
I have a strategy, but let me tell you, because of vindictiveness, businessmen have been afraid to invest. I'm telling you that. But this time around, do you know, up until now, all the money I've used to go through the primaries has been from Ghanaians.
But that's just the primaries. You're talking Ghana.
Yes.
Is
And
PAC
now
going to
that-
compete in all the constituencies?
Yes.
275 of them?
Yes. That's the plan we have. We've always, while I was there, we tried to do this all the time. And we're going to do it. And now that you guys are giving me the space to tell people what needs to be done, everybody knows it, but nobody is willing to do it because of the cost of doing it. I know, 2004 election, one of my executives actually told me in my face, he said, we won't support you to win. I said, why? He said, because you won't make some of us ministers. I said, you got that right. Because I had given him the responsibility for our cars. Not many cars, I think they were 6 or 7, and I said, you are transport minister, manage them. They will break down somewhere, he will come and tell me, we'll give money, they will do it. Give him money to repair it. 2-3 weeks later, the car is not repaired. And the money is not returned. So I fired him. I said, you cannot be a minister in my government. So he started telling the others, watch this man, he won't make you ministers. He's going to America to bring all his Ghanaian friends.
But
So basically, the kind of thing, so maybe it will cost you when you are serious. And I'll tell you a story that is true. What you are just saying. A professor told me, he said, you'll be a good president, but only a one-term president. Because you will fire the people who are supporting you by doing wrong. And I said, even if that is the case, I would have done what I want to do.
Dr. Mahama, for you to get into the Flagstaff House to
Yeah.
do the one term
Yeah.
would need a gargantuan miracle. From
Thank you.
less than
Thank you.
2.2%
Thank you.
to get 50 plus
Thank
1.
Thank you.
Are you living in dreamland, sir?
No. I'm a Christian who believes that God works miracles. I'm walking by faith. I'm walking by faith.
But you need votes.
I need votes, yes.
You need 5 million people to put their confidence in you.
Listen, next month, I'm starting the tour to thank all. I'm going to every region, probably selected districts. I have already put my clinic in the hands of competent gynecologists and other doctors. And I tell them, I will only come for serious cases, but you manage the clinic. Because I intend to let Ghanaians hear that their life could be better. This new deal I'm talking about, let me give you the genesis of it. I was 20. I graduated at 27 years of age from Kolebu. I did 1 year housemanship. So I was 28 when I was posted to Nalerigu, my hometown. Those days, graphic of today will come next month, this date. Took one month for you to get graphic. Transportation was bad. I'm talking about that 70s. So when I got there, I told it was a mission hospital. I told them I want to go and specialize in either neurosurgery or gynecology. And they said, well, you have a 3-year contract with us because they sponsored me in the last 3 months. When you finish that, you can go. And I said, how about scholarship? They said, well, we are not into business of giving scholarships. At that time, Achampong had talked about Operation Feed Yourself, and it was implemented. So, as a young doctor, I went to National Investment Bank where you could go and they'll give you a tractor. They'll pay for it, and you use it, and you pay them. So I went there. My brother, who was a lawyer, had actually started the process of getting the, but he then was transferred to Techima. So I took over the management of the farm. With the new tractor, in 3 years, we paid off the tractor. In 3 years, out of the savings from the farm, I had enough money to take my wife. She was a teacher when we were here. She's now a pharmacist, trained in America. My son, who was 2 years old. My niece, who is now a dentist in Cape Coast. I gave myself a scholarship. If I had been waiting for graphic to come and I'd see where there are scholarships, it would be too late.
It wouldn't have happened.
And I took advantage of a government program that was for Ghanaians, Operation Feed Yourself. Even as a civil servant, you could do a garden in your backyard. But I took advantage of it, wanting to give myself a scholarship. That's the kind of deal I want to give to Ghanaians, because 1976, the year I left for America, Ghana was beginning to export rice. And Tamale, they had demarcated a place called Rice City for rice farmers to put up story buildings. New deal. Ghanaians can turn Ghana around. If we bring back programs such as I took advantage of, it will be a deal for young people. They are advertising for young people to go back to farming. They don't go because there is no advantage in it.
There's a host of young people who would like to speak to you and ask you questions. So I want to open the phone lines right now on GH Today. The telephone number is 0233 71 71 44. 0233 71 71 44. We have Dr. Edward Mahama, Flagbearer of the People's National Convention, and he's having a chat with us on GH Today. You can bring in all your questions and we'll pose as many as we can to him.
I don't know if you answered Kafu's last question about the magic, you know, how you're going to be able to,
this new force.
The 50 point,
Yes.
Yeah, you said you're going to move around the country.
And the new force that we are putting in place is a real force. 18 to 35. If you are 18 and 35 and you are listening to me, we'll give you a number to call. I've already arranged people who are successful in Ghana to speak to them in groups and tell them, don't look for anybody to give you a fish. Learn how to fish yourself. I've already talked to Ghanaians who have succeeded and are in Ghana. I said, be part of this. This new force, you know, as I said, if you are 30 and you are not contributing to Social Security, and the retirement age is 50 or 55 or 60, it means that you will get less Social Security. But somebody who has started at 18, contributing because he's got a job,
will be ahead.
Will be ahead.
Okay, let's read some messages right now for Dr. Mahama. This is from GH1's Instagram page, and this is from track_Leia. This man is too brave. So somebody says you're a brave man. Empress Bay 58 says, Edward Mahama will indeed change Ghana and evict corruption. I support you, sir. Oheniba Kwamen Sam says, this is a man of vision. I shall vote for him with much joy. God bless Dr. Edward Mahama. Prosper_Salom says, we've heard these things many times, but power changes people, and what we need as a country is not a strong leader, but strong institutions which are incorruptible and devoid of political influence. A few more. Boachi 5086 says, you say he's such a wonderful man with great ideas. Eddie_0, you say Dr. Edward Mahama's winning will depend on his campaign in 2016. I'll be happy if we change NDC and MPP. And Embassy_Drake, and I'll pose this question to you. He says, Dr. Mahama, your party doesn't have enough followers. How do you get to Flagstaff House without followers?
You win them by telling them your message. And I think now I have more avenues for my message to go out. As I said, those people, I told them, stop talking about other parties, what they have failed to do and what they have done. Tell Ghanaians what we are coming to do. So our message is, this is what we will do, give us the chance. Don't talk about others and what they have not done. That's why I'm in this, to tell you, well, if they haven't given you a job when you finish school. Let me give you a true example. I was in secondary Form 5. My brother was working here. I came for the long vac with him. And they had what they call vacation employment.
Which you took advantage of?
I took advantage of it. I worked at Fishing Corporation at the Fishing Harbor. At the end of it, when I was to go back to Tamale Secondary School, Yeji was flooded. And the pontoon was taking 3 days to cross. With money in my pocket, I bought a ticket on the Ghana Airways and flew from my own pocket, vacation employment. Now graduates don't have a job. How can you give employment to vacation to students?
Good questions for us to think about. This is GH Today. We're going to take a quick dip into the world in 60 seconds. Back in a few with your messages for Dr. Edward Mahama. Stay with us.
Guinea has been declared Ebola-free after more than 2,500 people died from the virus in the West African region, leaving Liberia the only country still counting down for an end to the rainless epidemic. People in the capital, Conakry, on Tuesday greeted the declaration by authorities and the UN World Health Organization with mixed emotions, given the huge number of deaths and the damage the virus did to the economy and the country's health and education sectors. Militants in Nigeria have attacked a village near the northeastern city of Maiduguri, killing 21 people and injuring 91 others. Gunmen armed with rocket-propelled grenades fired from 3 trucks during the raid. Hours later, a female suicide bomber killed 1 person as people queued in the morning by the mosque in the city. 43 people as of now have been reported dead due to severe storms across southern and western parts of the United States. Flash floods, tornadoes and snow have destroyed hundreds of homes and businesses. Hence, the National Weather Service in the U.S. has issued tornado warnings for Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma and Mississippi. The governors of Oklahoma and New Mexico have declared states of emergency. Iraqi's army says it has defeated Islamic State fighters in the provincial capital west of Baghdad. The first major victory for the U.S.-trained force since it collapsed in the face of an assault by the militants 18 months ago.
You're watching GH Today. Your messages for Dr. Edward Nasegre Mahama, who is the 5-time presidential candidate of the People's National Convention. This is from Isahaku Bene on Facebook. As the record stands now, Dr. Mahama is the flag-bearer Mugabe in Ghana. Unfortunately, the way the electoral fortunes of PNC is going, they may soon discover oil. So why wouldn't the Nkrumah's parties form an alliance instead of taking part in elections where their results are only useful for historical purposes? He's trying to find out exactly why you do not come together with the CPP and the PPP to form one big alliance, decide who is going to lead that alliance, and go in as a credible third force.
On several occasions, I have said that I will give my position as PNC flag bearer to get the unity done. You just told me that CPP said they are not interested. You can't marry a woman unless she loves you, or she says yes. So when you are courting a woman, she says no, 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 no. She's saying no.
Is there a hierarchy in the Nkrumah's parties? Do you see CPP as a big brother, followed by PNC, and then PPP?
No, there's no hierarchy. We are all registered by the Electoral Commission. How can they be a big brother when the fact that they are directly associated with Nkrumah, is that the reason why they are a big brother? We were in parliament before them, and we were also in existence before them. CPP, let me, for those who don't know, it was in 2005, April or May, that the then government lifted the ban on the name and gave it to some people to confuse the election of 2000 because they were already seeing that they will lose that election. This is the fact, because I was a candidate. And I knew why they did that. Because we had tried to get the name CPP under Dr. Lemar, we couldn't get it. But when they saw that they would lose the election 2000, they decided to give it. So that is what happened. Now you are asking the question, I am prepared if others are prepared for us to come together. And don't ask me if I'm willing. In 2008, I was willing to be a running mate to Ndum, who had been serving on the NDC, on MPP government. And everybody knew that that is the government we were going to challenge. So you can't be a minister today and tomorrow you are saying what they have done is wrong. But I was willing to. For the love of this country, I was willing for us to offer something, an alternative. But it didn't work. And I'm not going to cry about it. I'll offer myself, I'll offer my ideas. Do you know that somebody said, a presidential candidate actually said, I won't give you what I will do. Others may take it. Edward Mahama has never said so. Because it's not for me, it's for the nation.
What is your relationship like with Dr. Ndum?
We have had business relationship, we have had political relationship, but now we're just people who know one another. I don't think there's a relationship as such, but we know each other because at one time he helped me to computerize my clinic when he was working with Deloitte and Touche, you know. And at one time we were thinking of coming together, and that's what I will tell you. People ask this question. In 2008, you can find it on the archives. I told Ndum, you are the flag bearer for CPP, I'm the flag bearer for PNC.
And kindly hold that thought. Somebody is calling from Kumasi. We'll continue with that thought, Dr. Mahama. We want to take Patrick from Kumasi. Patrick, good morning. Welcome to GH Today. You have Dr. Mahama ready to take your question.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. You're live. Go ahead.
Patrick calls from Kumasi.
Yes, go ahead, Patrick.
I thank Dr. Mahama for his wonderful ideas. And I'm praying and hoping that he will become the next president of Ghana to help our kids.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Patrick.
I
You're
was
making a
telling
point.
you, yes. So I told him, I want this unity very bad. We will come. You will be the candidate, but we'll use PNC symbol for the elections. Or vice versa, I'll be the candidate and we'll use the CPP symbol. He rejected it. I said, if you love what we are doing, give a sacrifice. It's all documented.
And now he has his own party, the PPP. Is there any chance that the PPP and PNC could speak together going into 2016?
Well, you see, he was with CPP. He left CPP. So if we are going to speak with him, he has to come back into CPP. I mean, why not?
Can he just come back and still come to that position where
when he has his
left
own
off?
party?
You know, because I'm thinking that once he exits, you come back and you start from scratch.
That's your thinking, and that's the way it should be.
Let's go to Kumasi again on the line 0233 71 71 44. We are hosting Dr. Mahama from the PNC. Good morning. Metal, hi. Good morning. Metal from Kumasi. Good morning.
Yeah. Nafidi, how are you?
I am well by God's grace. What's your question for Dr. Mahama?
My question is, I like the man. My father was ENC chairman way back when Dr. Edward Mama was Flagbearer in Salaga, Musa.
Yes.
But now he passed away. What I want to contribute is, I will vote for Dr. Edward Mama, inshallah.
Thank you.
No matter what.
Thank
I
you.
know this man can change Ghana. And by the grace of God, Dr. Edward Mama will be the president come January.
Thank you.
2017.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Metal. Have a good day. Merry Christmas to you. You got any messages?
Yeah, lots of them. So Rafiq says that I am a floating voter and have been waiting for this message. And so I will vote for you, Dr. Mahama. Keep spreading the message because there are a lot more like me. And this is on our WhatsApp platform.
Lots of questions on Facebook. Afuto Eric says, looking at the current world economic crisis, what advice do you have for young ones as far as jobs and employment is concerned?
Some of the people that I'm arranging to meet this new force, the 18 to 35-year-old, are people who have made it right here in Ghana. And I'll be arranging for them to tell them how to fish rather than wait for somebody to give them fish. And I'm very happy because there are Ghanaians who are willing to do this. So if you have some expertise out there and you want to impart it to others, please let's link up. So that you can tell others how to fish for their fish rather than wait for government to come and give them a handout.
Paul from La Paz says, please ask Dr. Mahama how many party offices the PNC has in each district. He's thinking that he should be able to organize the grassroots support.
Thank you.
For the party.
The new executive plus me, we had a meeting on Christmas Day or day before, after Christmas. The law, the law of election says that you must have offices in 2/3 of the districts.
Do you?
We have already planned, and we've asked the organizer to go around, get the rooms, get the rental agreements, so that we meet the law.
It means you don't have, for now, you don't have 2/3.
That's one of the reasons why they called me back. All the offices that they had, no one paid for them. And that's one of the reason the party people said come back, because the offices we had, they've taken them away from us. And the man who has money won't pay. So every time you bring up this issue, that's why they want me back, because they had offices and they could do party business from the office, but they don't have them now.
Edward, Adam Fui Aveva wants to know, what is your continuous development plan for the nation Ghana?
I've asked my think tank people to take the work from the Ghana Planning Commission, GNPC, the National
Development Planning Commission,
that's right.
NDPC.
That's the NDPC. And see the first 4 years, how we laid the foundation for that program that is a national program.
But you don't have your own plan. You're relying on the NDPC
I have just told you my own plan, but we're not going to do anything. We're going to do what, you see, when I come, what President Mahama has done, I'll continue. If you go around the country, you see that people come and they abandon. They abandon what has been done by the... But the money for doing what has been done didn't come from the man's pocket. So even if you hate the man, don't hate Ghana's money. Continue from there. So basically, we don't want to go and do something that is out of... This program is a national one with national goals. We will see how that fits into what we want to do. For example, this new deal that I'm talking about, we are going to grow agriculture. We are going to grow the economy, national economy, at 10% per annum on the back of agriculture.
How is that possible?
How is that possible?
When we rely so much on foreign money.
50% of the workforce of Ghana are farmers. So you already have the tool there. In the past and now, when government has a program, for example, to supply tractors, a government minister will take 3 of them and go and park in his house. The real farmers don't get it. They buy fertilizer and come, the fertilizer lies in the shed until after the farming.
So you will change that?
I'll change all of that.
A few quick questions on what's happening in the political space right now.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of ink spilled in the papers concerning this Ameri power deal, the car power, the way we've just managed the power situation in Ghana. What are your thoughts on that? I haven't actually heard you say anything much on that.
As I keep saying, I've observed it, I've seen it. You know, in 2008, they brought all the presidential candidates to tech. And we came up with a pamphlet on how to address Ghana's problems. That's why I'm sad that President Mills, who was part of it, didn't pick up that book. And if he had done that, today we won't have this power situation. So what I'm saying is that corruption is part of the problem there, really. Corruption.
So for you, if you tackle corruption, everything will be sorted
out. If you
out.
reduce corruption, for example...
Okay, just quickly, let me just get to Dwapong,
okay.
Because he's paying a lot of money to speak to us. We'll get back to you on the corruption tip.
Yeah.
Alaji from Dwapong, good morning. Welcome to GH Today.
Fine morning, my brother.
Fine morning to you too.
My question to Dr. Mahama is this. Why does he want to be a president? He's already studied the nation, by taking care of those who are taking all these things. And why does he want to be a president? My second issue is this. He's saying that corruption. We all know the way and manner presently President Mahama is fighting corruption. Because I can not myself that if it was given to Mahama guys, that is where any corruption comes from. It's out. It doesn't keep it under his carpet like President Kufuor says that he cannot destroy his party or his government.
Right.
Any corruption that happens, Mama makes sure that it comes out and the people will be told.
Okay.
He's saying that Mama is not fighting corruption and all this. And we all see the development that is going on today in Ghana. So, Dr. Mahama, that is my man. You remain in the hospital to take care of affairs. Thank you.
Okay, Alaji, well, thank you very much. Alaji's basic point is that continue being a fine gynecologist. Serve Ghana in that capacity. Forget about the presidency.
I told you the doctors who graduated with me, all of them are abroad. Do you know why? Because they don't want to come and put themselves in the conditions that I operate on as a doctor. I have to be an electrical engineer. If I'm going home and I don't check that there is diesel in the generator, in the night they will run it dry and then the generator will break down. So I'm not only a doctor in Ghana. In Chicago, I never knew that there was power problem. Never. It's not my business. It was always there because people looked after it. So, as I said, the reason I jumped into politics in 1996 was because a young lady, 17 years old, pretty girl, came to me at Kolebu. I was working with, I won't even mention that, but we were on duty and the girl had what you call ectopic pregnancy. You know, they bleed. When they arrived, I had just come back from America. I said, let's do the hemoglobin. Let's see how much blood she has. We couldn't do it. No relative was there. It was cash and carry. So I took money from my pocket. We did it. She needed blood. No blood. because nobody was there. The lady died in my hands.
And that
night, I said, gee, 17-year-old. I was a doctor in America 15 years. No one person died in my hand there. Not one person. And I said, gee, how can 17-year-old with a life ahead of her come and die because of cash and carry? That's why when I became a candidate, national health insurance was very, very dear to my heart. Because in America, they are using insurance to save lives. So you see, my experience is what is leading me to say that this is where the problem is. At the health center, at the president's office. The buck stops there. So if you want to change the world, that's where you have to be. Really.
Are you frustrated with Ghanaians? The question I keep getting is, why keep going? This is not your first time. This is not your second time. This is not your third time. This is not your fourth time. This is your fifth time since 1996. Yeah. Next year will be how many years? 20 years of you trying to get into the Flagstaff. Maybe it is not your destiny to be president, Dr. Mahama. Maybe it's not your destiny.
God will show that.
Maybe it's not.
Yes. Do you know how many times Abraham Lincoln failed before he became president of America? He even ran for senator and failed. He failed 10 times. Abraham Lincoln, he became president and was shot. He brought about the emancipation of slaves.
Are you prepared to fail 10 times?
If God says so. I'm on the 5th time, and this time I'm convinced, based on the reaction of even taking the PNC up, that people now have seen what Dr. Mahama is. Not the presidency I'm after. It's what I can do with the authority of the president.
Let's speak with Jonas from Akuse. Jonas, good morning. Welcome to GH Today.
Yeah, good morning, Kafui.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Jonas.
Yes, go ahead, Jonas.
You know, even as I celebrate my wife on her birthday, Mrs. Elizabeth Yawa crying, I want to ask this question. How do we restore the hope, in our education system? Because, Kafui, I'm a teacher at Several Primary School. And I know what we're doing now is pink tomato form of classes. We don't have schools. But unfortunately, all the political parties come and all they are talking about is the enrollment. As a teacher, I know it's no quality we have. How do we get it right? Now, the other thing is this. All political parties and presidential candidates are talking about is helping the youth to be able to, it's fishing for them. Everybody says, I'm going to give you a job, I'm going to give you a job. How do we rather lay the foundation, for them to be able to do their own things and make use of their talents? And then finally, you want to look at the Nkrumahs, coming together. And I think that we have a major problem here. It has to do with power. Nobody really wants to surrender whatever they believe in and compromise. And that's why all these political parties, and Dr. Mahama, you're a great person, but I believe very well that most Ghanaians, of course, even if they watch this, have a challenge if you're going to be able to win because of the fact that, you guys have not been able to come together. And I don't believe that you actually have a winnable team at this stage, and that's really what my problem is. I mean, in conclusion, let's just say Ghana, may we all, team up and then make things happen. Thank you very much, Kafu and Bateswell.
Thank you very much, Jonas. You sound like a WAEC examiner. This is a loaded question. I wonder how many marks it will give. But hey, thanks, Dr. Mahama. So he wants to know.
There is a deal for teachers in our program.
Exactly.
And also, let me add this. He talked about the education. In 2004, when I ran, I said I was going to introduce into the JSS and SS a subject called thinking. Mm-hmm. And I said, this came to me when I was in Bechim campaigning. That was the morning that I arrived there, young men surrounded my hotel. They came out. We don't have jobs. So I asked them, Brown and Hafo, we produce cocoa. Which of you, your father, has a chocolate factory? We produce some gold. Do we know anybody into gold refinery? If it were America, a child would be told, this is the pod, this is the bean inside it, this is the fiber.
And what we can get out of it.
What we can get out of it. And he might say, oh, so why should I go and look for a job outside the chocolate factory? Yeah. Or a carpet factory using the bag.
So that's the critical thinking you're talking about.
That's the critical. So I said I would introduce it. This year sometime, I read that Legon is introducing a subject of that nature.
Yes, indeed.
But I wanted to introduce it at the JSS level.
You're a man ahead of the times.
At the SS level.
But listen, Dr. Mahama, Hassan Ayaruga is actually watching us.
Yes.
And he sent in a question.
Yeah.
He says, even in your own hospital, there's no water. And you brought the party from 7.6 to 0. What different things are you bringing on board? And then he continues by saying, I went to him 6 times to help in the campaign, but he declined 6 times. What are you talking about? This is Dr. Hassan Ayaruga.
Let me, first of all, we'll not talk about him, but let me correct him. I have a borehole there with a pump, automatic pump. He doesn't know what he's talking about. You can come, I'll show you the borehole. You can turn on the pipe and it'll pump. So that's all I want to say about that.
He said he went to you for help 6 times
That's
during
what
the
I'm
campaign.
saying. He should be,
and you declined 6 times.
He should be addressing this to Alhaji Ramadan, who was chairman and leader of the party. How many times did he go out with him? I'm leader now. I'm going to campaign even for parliamentary candidates. I'm leader now. He should be addressing his problem to Alhaji Ramadan and Bernard Mona, who was the general secretary, not me.
You speak with passion when we mention Mr. Ayaruga. Are you still praying for him?
Yes. The man needs to be delivered from his arrogance and lack of sportsmanship. He needs to be delivered from, you see, I showed him a way. I went to the podium, lifted his hand, congratulated him. Insunyani, if anybody had any right to complain that this election was rigged, I had. Even a reverend minister who is one of my campaign aides came and told me that they've changed the register. And I said, go and give them the new register, the real register. He went. Then the chairman then came and said, use this other register. He came and told me, you are the leader. I said, let them have their way. It's not worth it for me to go and fight with my party people because of this. If he wins, good luck to him. And when he won, I lifted his hand up on the podium. The pictures are there. I'm sure people have
So you think he's a bad sportsman?
I did that for him.
He should have done that for you.
Not only for me, for his supporters.
Okay.
He should have thanked them.
But he didn't.
But he didn't.
Okay.
And he was weeping.
I wish we could continue.
Yeah.
But we're running out of
definitely
time.
It's been a good
It's
one.
been a great
You've done a
conversation.
good job.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
good job.
So, Dr. Mahama, as you look
a good
forward,
journalist brings up the best
Exactly.
in the
We talk
interview.
about that here all the
Thank you very
time.
much.
we thank you very much. We want you to just give a message to your supporters and Ghanaians as we get to the threshold of 2016, what the next year holds for us, and what your thoughts are for 2016.
First, I want to wish all Ghanaians a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah.
The last caller talked about hope. Ghana under PNC and Edward Mahama will give a lot of hope to the people. We have, the nation has so many resources. You know, gold, diamond, bauxite, cocoa. We add the agric bit and start to export rice. And we'll build the rice city that was dreamed up by a champion but never came in Tamale. And the teachers, he just talked about teachers. The deal for the teachers is, when I was a student, teachers in the villages were the most respected. We have to restructure the Ministry of Education and give dignity to the teachers and let there be discipline in the system, and they will get their respect back. Respect is not given, it's earned.
Good.
You know, so if they are passing out students and giving them, look, I went back to thank some of my old teachers for making me who I am. So basically, Ghana is not a hopeless basket. Ghana is a nation full of prosperity, and that prosperity will come under good leadership, which I'm offering to the people of Ghana.
Thank you very much. The presidential candidate of the NPP said his New Year's resolution was to be president. Is your New Year's resolution any different?
My New Year's resolution is to make Ghana better. And to do that, I have to be president.
Okay.
Last question. Where's your hat? We know you for your hat.
I want the people to see a different Mahama. Somebody asked me, don't you have suits? I said, as a gynecologist in Chicago, I wore a different suit every day.
Okay. You're a sharp guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm still sharp.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes. So basically, I have given suits up because that's why I came back, to wear my smock.
All right.
So I'll be in the smock again.
I need a hat, though.
Yes, it will come. When you wear a smock and you don't put on a hat, you're not properly dressed. Ask any Northerner, they'll tell you.
Dr. Mahama, thank you very much.
For having me.
This is how we greet here.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Thank you so much.
From afar all the time.
But you can
Well, if you can, guys, I will come to you. But when I touch your hand, I have your vote.